Hey, I'm Rochelle. I'm the beauty and the comedic relief.
And I'm Bridget, the brains of the operation.
Come with us across Alberta where we show you some of the best people and places.
There might be some mess-ups and dumb jokes along the way, but we promise it'll be a lot of fun. Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Your turn.
We're at Ace right now, Ace Coffee. We're about to head in and have our first interview.
Woohoo! So if it sucks, be nice because we've never done this before.
Exactly, we're new. But it's not gonna suck. We're gonna kill it. Is that family friendly?
It's gonna be so good. So
gonna be
good.
great.
So
Great.
come on in with us. I am here today at Ace Coffee Roasters, joined with Simon, who is a partner here at Ace.
Yeah.
Hello, Simon.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm not doing too bad. Yeah, lots of running around today.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Hopefully it wasn't too busy for you and this can kind of settle things.
It wasn't too bad.
Good, good. So we're just going to talk to Simon a little bit about coffee, about himself, about the company, and all of that. So how long have you been in this industry?
I've been in this industry for about 8 years now.
8 years? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I started when I was 19, I believe, or 18. I don't remember which age, but
Totally fair. And so what got you involved in
coffee?
Yeah, in coffee.
Well, it usually starts out the same for a lot of people, where it's about a little bit of passion for coffee. I didn't actually have my first coffee until I was probably about 18 or 19.
Really?
And the first one was some specialty coffee. So it was a little bit different than Tim Hortons or Starbucks at the time. So I didn't know that coffee could taste like that. Yeah.
That's so cool. And so can you tell us a little bit about Ace and the company?
Yeah, so the beginnings of Ace were quite more humbled, where we were just roasting coffee and we were trying to sell to wholesale accounts. We had some colleagues of ours that opened up coffee bars, and at the time there was a little bit of a gap between fresh local roasted coffee, and we decided to start doing that. And then over the years we evolved a little bit to have our own retail locations as well, and that's kind of like the story behind how it started. Yeah.
Awesome. And you're saying we, so how many partners are involved?
Yeah, it's just me and one other person.
You and one other person?
Yeah.
Cool. And who is the partner that you have?
His name is Joe Peritino.
Awesome. Yeah. And is he still working with the company today?
Yep. Yeah, he's still very much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so you talked a little bit about the starting of Ace. So why was it that you created the company? Did you have a specific goal in mind, or?
Yeah, we wanted to fill that gap for what is the only other local roaster at the time would have been Transcend Coffee, which has their own style of roasting coffee, but there wasn't anything more Italian-based or more approachable at the. So that was where we wanted to fill that gap. Yeah.
Awesome. And how long have you worked for Ace?
Oh, well, yeah, since it started there.
Since the beginning.
Yeah. So I would have partnered up maybe 1 or 2 years after Ace was created.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. And what do you see in yourself that is reflected in Ace and the Ace brand?
Yeah. Well, when you're involved quite a bit day to day, there's a lot that you do have a little bit of an influence on. But something that's always been important and is still kind of important today is our quality first mentality. I mentioned that we started off just roasting coffee and shipping it to wholesale. When we decided to venture a little bit into retail bars, that meant we had more staff, we had more customers we were working with. So naturally we made quite a bit of mistakes at that time. So One of the things that kind of brought us back to, let's say, to a place where we're still moving forward, that quality first mentality was something we still carry today. And the term we kind of used for it is continuous improvement. So that willingness to learn, adapt, and grow is still very much present today.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, you don't have to answer this question, but do you have any trade secrets or even anything that's super exciting that you've learned through your time working in this industry?
Yeah, one of the things I never really thought I would learn about would be things related more to equipment and machinery, and that kind of reliability, redundancy, and preventative maintenance. So there's like things regarding our equipment like expansion valves, screw heads, a lot of things that could go wrong and break. So you learn a little bit more about the mechanics, which was something I didn't think that I was going to be learning about. But through that, I learned the importance of having a little bit of a reliability in your equipment and your setup. And sometimes if you're not doing preventative maintenance on the equipment that you have, it could actually lead to quite a bit of errors during service.
I see. And yeah, if you can see behind me, there's a whole bunch of equipment that maybe we'll learn a little bit about later, because I used to be a barista for like a year, so I'm not a good barista by any means, but I think I used one of those machines behind us.
Yeah, probably that one right there, right?
Yeah, that's the one that I was saying.
It's a very common one.
Yeah, it's the easiest, the staple. Can't go wrong with it for sure. We're just going to pause temporarily just because of the sound of the coffee there. But that is the sound of the coffee beans being ground.
So the coffee right now is getting destoned. So it kind of relates to the 80s, like the kind of coffee we buy, specifically when we talk about 86 points, or we talk about maybe the grade of the coffee that we buy. When we purchase coffee, it's more, when we speak about specialty coffee, that means that we're buying a coffee of a certain grade, which on a raw material base or a physical sensory base, there could be 0 primary defects and 5 or less secondary defects. So some of those secondary defects would be like stones, sticks, things like that. So the thing that you hear is something piece of machinery we have that helps remove those secondary defects.
Oh, that's so interesting. And you said 5 or less secondary defects?
Yeah, so if you think about like a small bag of coffee, there's usually around 1,000 beans in there. So if you have more than 5 secondary defects in there, it's technically not specialty.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So it is a little loud and dusty. And,
but you're probably used to it. You hear it all the time.
Yeah, I don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah, just background noise. And so you've kind of touched a bit on this, but what excites you about the work you do?
Well, I enjoy having a team and a organization that is so quick to adapt to things. You never really know what is going to happen in the economy or anything like that, right? Like, COVID was a very good example. But what's exciting is being able to redo processes or look at the systems, make those changes, see how they perform without having to go through 20 different people just to get it rolling. So being able to change a lot of things month to month or kind of adapt to the ongoing market is something that's pretty exciting for the most part, because it removes a little bit of the boring part of work, and there's a lot of creativity involved.
Absolutely, yeah. That's awesome. And I think too, you were speaking of like a loyal team that sticks with you through all of that. It's easier than having to like get new people, retrain them, and repeat the process over and over again. Speaking of COVID, what was that like for you and the business? And obviously COVID was an awful time for almost everyone, I would say.
Yeah, it allowed us to scale our goals and aspirations a little bit, which was nice, and start working a little bit more on a foundation. But through COVID, we were quite fortunate in that we already had like an active online store already.
Gotcha.
So most customers just transitioned to that. So we didn't really notice too big of a shift when it comes to that. Okay. And people were still coming in, buying coffee, and then leaving right after. So we had to change very, very little, to be honest. Yeah.
Awesome. And I think too, like having, like the world nowadays is so crazy with everything you can buy online, because back in the day, right, you'd have to go buy your coffee, and then now people just get it shipped to their house.
Yeah.
And I know you do, I think, classes and workshops here as
do.
well.
Yeah, and we do them in this room right here.
Yeah, and so you're able to actually buy your coffee and learn how to make it at home.
Yeah, a lot of people, it's just like buy a piece of equipment, put it on the counter, and it's all good to go. But for the most part, there's a lot more that goes into coffee, and there's a lot of standards related to, standards related to how you brew coffee and what tastes good. And a lot of people don't have some of this knowledge or tools accessible to them. So that's where the classes come in.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I had a friend buy an espresso machine
Yep.
and bought whole coffee beans and then called me and was like, how do you use an espresso machine? And for people who don't know, you have to ground espresso in order to like do the whole like cool thing where you like pat it down, the
extracting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was just in another world that he had to go through another step to like make his coffee at home.
And then you get down into the rabbit hole of all the different things you could do with it.
Absolutely. There's just so much, and I think a lot of people don't actually know that. Speaking of coffee at home, though, do you have a coffee machine at home? Do you make all your coffee?
I do have a batch brew machine at home.
A batch brew machine?
So like a Mocha Master, for example.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I drink most of my coffee here, so at home sometimes it's nice to have something convenient that makes quite a bit of coffee at a time, around like a liter, so it's pretty convenient. I don't have an espresso machine at home though.
Okay.
No.
Gotcha. And so what is your favorite kind of coffee?
I like and do enjoy like a double espresso or a black filter coffee.
Oh.
So pretty simple.
Yeah, simple guy. Nice. And so we're talking a bit about coffee and espresso. Are you able to kind of go into the difference of the two?
Yeah, I'll talk about like some similarities between them and then kind of what makes them a little different.
Yeah, for sure.
When it comes to espresso versus drip coffee, there's still 3 different variables that you're looking at. One of them is how much coffee are you using. Another one is how much water are you adding. And then the last one is how fine or how coarse your grind is. So in a traditional double espresso, you're going to be using around 18 to 21 grams of coffee. And then you're going to be looking for a yield or an output, like liquid espresso, of around 28 to 36 mils. So very, very, very close together. For a filter coffee, let's think about like 12 ounces, so just like a normal medium cup. You could be using between 18 to 20 grams still. However, you're going to be adding roughly 12 ounces of water to it and having, so that means the ratio between them are a little bit different. And then when it comes to grind size, espresso will have a lot finer of a grind. That way the water won't pass through it as quickly. Meanwhile, filter coffee will have quite a bit of a coarser grind. And that's because if you're thinking about your tap, when you turn your tap on, the pressure is very low. Meanwhile, espresso machines are usually extracting at 9 bars of pressure. So that's a lot of pressure, so that's why the grind needs to be quite fine.
Oh, I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, I was a barista for like 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
And people would always ask me, and I was like, I don't really know, actually. Yeah. And then people always, when they would ask for drip coffee, and like sometimes we wouldn't have coffee beans, so we would offer them like Americano. Yeah. Look at us, coffee talk.
Some things don't change no matter where.
Yeah. And so talking a bit about coffee and like the different profiles that coffee has, how do you go about refining your palate in order to actually tasting the difference between like a quality espresso or a quality coffee versus something that is less par, I would say?
Yeah, well, you don't need to like think about the tasty notes, right? Like how nutty or how, you know, how it tastes like lemon. Like you don't need to get to that level. The base of it when you're tasting coffee is just trusting the sensory areas on your tongue, because mostly person to person we do taste bitterness and sourness and sweetness in the same areas. So getting familiar with that is a great place to start. Such as bitterness, you're usually tasting in the back middle of your tongue, and then sourness is on the back sides.
Oh, okay.
And then sweetness is typically more on the front, same with saltiness. So when you're tasting coffee, sometimes near the finish or like or the aftertaste, you'll kind of feel it maybe a little bit on the back sides or in the back middle. So you can kind of tell a little bit whether it's more of a bitter or a sour espresso that you're having. And that's like a very simple way of tasting how coffee is being extracted. So when you're tasting like fruits or vinegars, those are like you eat those daily for the most part. So those are good foods to kind of get familiar with where your tongues taste these, I guess, sensory attributes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I never even like thought of doing it that way. And so, what is the strangest flavor of coffee you've ever had, or the coffee you had that you were like, oh wow, that is something?
Yeah, I think everyone actually here probably remembers it because I think everyone got sick. Is when I brought back a bag of coffee that was barrel aged in whiskey.
Oh my! Sounds like a party.
Yeah, I think it made everyone sick for the most part.
Oh no!
It came in like a very small bag too, and it was quite expensive, and we had to give that coffee away. We pawned it off too. We couldn't even finish it.
You will love this so much, I promise.
Yeah, we had a couple people who wouldn't drink it because they might get drunk off of it, type of thing.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
that's so funny. And so, if you could branch out and anywhere in the world, where would you open a new location for Ace?
Well, we just finally opened up just north across the river just recently. But if we had to look further down the line, we've always hum and hawed about Calgary because we are an Edmonton-based company, and we were, for the most part, born and raised here. So Calgary is one of the next places that does feel a little bit like home. Yeah.
That's really nice to keep the home feel and keep the company local, because that's what it is. It's a local company. And so that being said, what does the future of Ace look like to you in your ideal world?
In my ideal world.
When you're king of the coffee and everything goes exactly as you'd like it to.
Yeah, well, we hope to open up some more. I hope to open up some more retail locations and get a little bit more education out there relating to coffee, making sure that all the information and knowledge is out there and accessible, and people are using coffee because coffee is getting a little bit more expensive nowadays, very expensive.
Everything's too expensive.
So if you're going to be buying coffee or equipment, it's nice to know how to properly use it and making sure you're getting the most out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not as simple as just buying and just doing as you will. You might be wasting coffee that way, or you might not like coffee because maybe the brew ratios you're unclear about, things like that. Yeah.
Awesome. And so what, for aspiring coffee connoisseurs? For those who are aspiring, what do you need to be successful in this field?
It's important to understand how complex, food service or retail could be. So, like, we would recommend normally like breaking down every single thing you do into a process, because for the most part, an output of one process in coffee or even food becomes an input for another process. So understanding the processes and maybe having requirements or standards related to each process helps you control, let's say, the quality or what you're actually serving or providing, giving it like a standard or something tangible that you can measure helps a lot. Understands where things could be going wrong, where things are going right. That way you could always look back and improve off of it. Yeah.
Cool, that's so awesome. And what advice would you give to individuals who are looking to open small businesses in Alberta?
We always look back at how much we need to make in order to, let's say, sustain the business, because the most important thing is that you're paying everyone a good wage, a living wage, as well as making sure that the business has enough money coming into it that you could continue to grow and give a little bit more opportunities for everyone. So sometimes working backwards as to what's a reasonable amount to make, and working, like making sure you know your costs and how things should be going daily, even on a system or process level, is really important for that.
And I also wanted to ask, because you're a local Alberta business, and you also partnered with Made by Marcus, another local Alberta business, for an ice cream flavor, right? Yeah. And what was that process like? Did they reach out to you? Can I ask?
Yeah. I think this guy loitering behind here would have a better answer to that question. But we were working with Wilfred's for the longest time.
Okay.
So when they got involved with that location, it just kind of became a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And we became friends pretty quickly with them.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Local supporting local. I love it.
Yeah, I think that's on the right path, right? Okay, good.
Okay, cool. And so my final question for you today, we just like to ask it because of the wide range of answers people often give us, but what is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life?
The question I can't really think of a good
question
answer
you can't
for.
really think. If it makes you feel any better, I've asked this to so many people whenever I get to the chance to do Q&As with anyone. I've gotten everything from, my mom always told me to wash behind my ears, to always take a breath before doing something scary, or you'll always have a to-do list. There's so many answers that you cannot go wrong.
I suppose so. When you put it like that, that helps. But I think about, like, the first thing that does come to mind is like my quality management mentor, and about how important ownership of quality is, and making sure you're not taking any accountability or responsibility away from anyone who's actively involved in, let's say, a process or anything like that. That's like the first thing that jumps to my mind right now. But
see, and that's awesome.
Yeah,
You're imparting wisdom on the world.
That one's a little too insightful.
Too insightful for like an afternoon on a Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll run with it. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us. We will wrap up here and then maybe get a look at the cafe and everything that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. delicious, delightful, yummy.
How about the notes? Are you getting all the notes?
The notes of
the...
yes, yes. I can't multitask. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a very overly sweet coffee gal. I hate coffee that's real coffee. I'm like your frappuccino-y, vanilla-y, caramel-y, but this is yummy. Like really yummy. Like I would order this and actually drink it. So I'm very, not surprised, but like surprised with myself.
Yeah.
Because I don't normally like regular coffee, but I'm gonna take this to go. How is it?
That's really good. Like actually really good. Now I understand why people have black coffee.
Yeah, I could drink that. Another sippy sip more.
Wow, that's good coffee.
Okay, welcome back. We're here again with Simon, and we are going to walk through some of these fancy machines. I was going to say espresso, but I don't think they're all espresso machines.
Actually, most of them are. One of them is not, though.
Ooh.
Actually, one of them doesn't make any coffee.
Ooh, it's a mystery.
Yeah. We could start over there probably. So these are the machines that we use on our bars primarily. So these are actually original technology. Like original espresso machines used to be lever machines, as you see here. The lever and piston is a little covered by this, but there is like a spring inside. But this was actually one of the first renditions of an espresso machine before they moved to pumps. But how this one works is there's a big boiler inside, and when you pull the lever arm down all the way, it opens up, like the spring will compress and then allow water into the chamber. And then when you release it, the spring is kind of like we're pushing water through the bed. So it's all very analog and mechanical. When we come to modern machines like this one or the one on the end, these are what we call pump-driven machines. So it went from a lever machine like this, which is more analog and mechanical, and they become something a little bit more electronic, and there's an actual pump that's actually forcing water to the group head. And when I say group head, I'm speaking about where you would normally lock these portafilters in. So this is, again, the group head. Yeah, and then so these two are just home machines that we have. That one is more of a commercial level, and the one I think you said that you've used before.
Oh, yes, I'm a master at that. Yeah, I was really, really good at... No, actually, I wasn't.
So where like lever machines are very manual, where the baristas have complete control over the process of making espresso. These ones are a little bit more semi-automatic, and that you have a computer board in here that when you press the button, it will, once a certain amount of water's passed through it, it will actually stop automatically. So you can press the button and forget about it, and then it'll stop automatically once a certain yield has been reached. Meanwhile, with the lever machine, it's more manual, so that means you have to actually remove your cup. It won't stop automatically for you, so it's completely manual. So which could be, a big gap when it comes to maybe new people or if they've never used the equipment. There's a lot of training involved, a lot more than something like this. But we use lever machines because we really like that traditional Italian style of espresso. And then the big one in the middle there is actually just a miniature roaster. So that's a little sample roaster.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. It actually does give a little bit of context to the big roaster that we have, where on the inside here we have I'll step around over here.
Sorry.
On here you have like a burner, which is heating like a little drum on the inside. So it's a little difficult because it's of the way it's angled to see, but that burner will be heating a drum, and that drum is what's spinning, and that's how we're roasting the coffee. So it's just this is what we call a sample roaster. So when we do get samples from origin, we do roast them 100 grams at a time just to assess them ourselves. Because, suppliers are giving us information, but it's always good practice to also verify it, right, internally. Yeah. And then I have a just smaller espresso machine here that actually only makes espresso, because these ones here have hot water tap as well as a steam one right here.
Steaming milk is so difficult. I was so bad. Latte art, oh my goodness, it was the death of me, sorry.
And this one is just espresso. And then we have like a coffee grinder here as well as a kettle. Just a bunch of tools laying around here to help us make coffee and also teach some of our classes as well. He's loading up our green beans, so they go here. Once our roaster reaches the proper temperature, we're going to be dropping them into the drum. So when I was speaking about specialty coffee earlier, we're buying raw material. That's kind of what we mean. So when we say 86 score coffee, that means the raw material we're buying has a certain grade associated with it. All of our coffee is up in the hopper right there. So I'll point there again. That's telling me that the roaster's at temperature. It's important for consistency, roast to roast. So right now our roaster drum is at around 185 degrees Celsius. So there's a burner that's you can't see right now, but there's a burner heating a drum, and that drum is spinning around in a circle. So right now this is what we call the drying phase. So the drying phase in coffee is where we're trying to expel all the moisture from the green coffee out. That way we could develop as evenly as possible. With coffee, you want everything to be as uniform as possible. So in order to make it uniform, we have to apply enough heat at the start for that particular coffee. Because different coffees will have different densities or different hardness. So they all take different levels of heat, let's say, in order to develop evenly. So that's the best thing we're going for, is a well-developed, uniform roast. So in about 2 or 3 minutes, we'll see the color on the green there, green coffee, to start to change kind of a yellow. And then as the process goes on, it will be that nice deep brown color. You can kind of loosely associate certain countries with certain flavor profiles, but also not all countries grow coffee at the same, let's say, elevation. Right? Like Brazil coffee is known for being more low grown at around 700 up to nowadays like 1,400 meters above sea level. And then there's coffees from Africa, which are usually grown from 1,600 meters above sea level all the way up to like 2,400 meters above sea level. So that makes different hardness, if we want to use that word, of beans. So coffee that's higher grown, such as an African coffee from Ethiopia or Rwanda, will have a little bit, will require a little bit more heat than a coffee from Brazil. So what we're roasting right now is Brazil coffee. So those would be the variations we would have to do depending on the coffee.
Is there a school for this? Like, how do you familiarize yourself with this so much?
There is schools out there, but we trialed and errored for a little bit while we were trying to get our identity, but we've had the fortunate side of things of working with some really good suppliers who kind of value education and teaching and training, which maybe you picked up. Like, we kind of have some of that stuff too when we talk about our classes. So that's kind of where we learned a lot of it, and that there is, at this point, what's important to us is maybe not how we're roasting or what we're buying, because we have some very good relationships with producers. But what's important now is how do we make sure that the variation between roasts is at its absolute minimal, where our absolute quality or our acceptable quality level is still pretty high. Yeah. So for the most part, it's a very easy watching. It does sit around like this for quite a while, but he is controlling the gas for a little bit. If he backs up a little bit, we could probably sneak in a little bit closer. So this screen here is displaying all of our data. So this is our air, and this is down here is our gas, and all these other temperatures you see is we have probes in the roaster that are telling that, and then we have it connected to a computer in the back, And that's how we're monitoring how consistent we are compared to our last roast. So you see, maybe it might be hard to see on the phone, but on this computer here, there's like a little gray line in the background, and that gray line is actually what we call our reference curve. So that's the curve we're trying our best to match. So as you can see so far, we're basically almost identical, and that's something that we're looking for when we're doing, because repeatability is really important, and we really do want to be in control of our process.
Which process is your favorite? Where do you like to be? Back here, making coffee?
Well, I spend most of my time in the office now, but
in your ideal, where would you
the roasting side of it is always great. It's just one little process, and there's even other things built around roasting that are really important, like what's the process of what you're buying, how you're making sure you're not running out of supply, packaging, labeling, like those are all unique processes. It's a little bit more measurable, I would say, compared to the work on the bar, where it's very hard to measure the level of service. It's very hard to measure like the quality of your service and product on the bar. The only thing that is very nicely measurable is maybe the espresso, how it's tasting, what are the numbers. But back here, almost everything is measurable, which is really nice. So we're able to know what we're doing right or wrong immediately. There's always constant feedback, and we're our own worst customer in a way. Yeah, and then we have about another 7 minutes or 8 minutes on the roasting process.
So cool.
Now when they're yellow, this is what we call the Maillard. We're entering Maillard a little bit. So what we're doing is we're breaking down the acids and the sugars. Is very similar to caramelization. So how long we spend in this process will kind of dictate a little bit of the outcome of the flavor. If we spend a little less time in this process, our coffee will exhibit a little bit more clarity. If we spend a little bit more time during this process, our coffee will become a little bit more complex in flavor. So for our style of coffee, which is a little bit of Italian influence, we are going to be looking for a little bit more complexity in our coffee. Yeah. And that's like I think the exciting thing of roasting so far. Everything else, we're just waiting. But there will be first crack in a little bit. But I don't know if I have too much to talk about until that point.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you eat those like raw?
I wouldn't really recommend it. They are quite hard.
Sorry, she's an animal.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding.
You won't be able to really chew them very well. Okay. They're more like seeds or pits. That's like the best equivalent that I could think of it. Because they do come from a cherry, and it is what's inside of a cherry.
Oh, I did not know that.
So coffee isn't grown like that. It does come on like a plant, and that plant produces cherries.
Yeah.
So the easiest way to think about it is that that's like the pit. And it's two halves that form one pit. And then from there, that coffee is processed different ways, whether it's natural, washed, honeyed, and then dried, and then we're buying it. Or then it gets assessed, like how many, like for the primary defects, secondary defects, as well as like sensory attributes to it. And those sensory attributes could be the flavor, aftertaste, body, uniformity, sweetness, all acidity. Those are all also affect how well the coffee is scored or how it's graded. So between the physical aspect and the sensory aspect, that's how we come up with 86 score or 82 score. But for it to be specialty, it's got to be 84 and higher.
And so the coffee here is above 86?
Most of them, it's 86 or higher. Yep.
They're up there, A+ coffee.
Yeah. We have to do that in order to be, specialty. And we also don't want customers to notice differences in the coffee that they're buying. Because I mentioned this a little earlier, coffee is getting quite expensive. Even specialty coffee on a raw material-wise is also going to be more expensive. So we got to do our best to make sure that the defects that customers can notice is at the very, very, very lowest it possibly could be. And on the other side, if you're spending money on specialty coffee, you should know how to brew it good too. That way, you're not throwing money down the drain.
Absolutely.
Coffee will smell more like bread here. It's very, very hot, so I'd be very careful. But we will be coming up to first crack shortly. So what you're going to start to hear is the moisture inside the bean fully evaporating, and it's going to be poppy noises like popcorn.
Cool. I am so shocked. I love coffee. I drink coffee all the time. I always talk to people about coffee, and yet I knew nothing about coffee. I'm a phony. Mm-hmm. But now I know.
So now we're just waiting for the first crack to happen. So this is another phase of roasting that we also time and track, just to make sure that we're consistent. Do you hear it a little bit, Will? Okay. So you if you go a little closer, you can probably hear the poppy noises. And one of the ways you could tell it's in first crack is because the aroma is now completely gone, or it's not as fragrant as it was before.
Oh yeah.
Okay. It's not as fragrant as it was before. Yeah. And that's how we know it's in first crack. So I'm just going to discard this again.
That is so fun. Wow.
Another aspect that will affect the flavor outcome of the roast is going to be this phase, the development time. So this is the last thing that we're timing. And we look at it in terms of percentages. But he's going to be turning on the cooling tray here. So this is what people see and think is roasting coffee. But and then in a couple minutes, he will be dumping the coffee out.
So when the coffee falls to here, it's already been roasted and it's cooling on here.
Precisely. Our roaster right now is actually at roughly at around 200 degrees Celsius at this time, which is quite hot. And we're going to be, and I believe this particular profile should be getting dropped out at around 211. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty, okay.
You got it.
And that's in terms of temperature. And that is going to loosely or strongly, depending on who you are, correlate to how dark the coffee is, because roast level is something that's talked about.
Oh, so a dark roast, for example, would be in the roaster longer than like a light roast or a medium roast?
So like the length is less, like let's say, like how long the roast is less related to how, like the roast degree, as much as it's how high the temperature that you go. Because you could reach a higher temperature in lower time, right? Type of thing. So with a dark roast, we're usually going up to around 230 degrees Celsius. So, and that's when second crack happens. So second crack is when the oils get pushed to the surface. So it does sound a lot like first crack. So in order to get a dark roast, you do have to go just a lot higher just for your temperature. But it doesn't necessarily correlate to how long or short a roast is. You could get to a dark roast in 10 minutes, or you can get to a dark roast in 20 minutes. It all depends on, like, because we are roasting in, like, with gas. So depending on our BTU level, like, for example, we could have our gas on at 100% or 80% or 60%, and that will kind of affect how quickly it's roasting.
And can the coffee burn while it's in the roaster? Like if
roaster fires are a common thing. For the most part, it's on a matter of if you get a roaster fire as much as it's when. So everyone's always prepared for it. It's going to happen to us at some point, just not yet. But I'm not going to knock on wood because it's going to happen at some point. So we just went from the raw material that you see right there, and we turned it into this right here. So now we're going to be cooling it, and then he's going to be taking a sample of it to measure its roast level, just to see if it's within tolerance. And then we'll be blending it and then tasting it, and then into the packing, and then we'll start packing it.
Hey everyone, we just finished up with Ace Coffee Roasters. I'm drinking a latte, like a grown-up latte, not a caramel latte.
Sugar to this.
No sugar, nothing like that, because it's actually real yummy. Big fan. We think that was successful, minus Rochelle not telling me my hair looked ugly with my ear poking out. She's pretty
there was like 12 million people in the background. Like, I was about to say fans. Our fans are swarming us already. There was like customers, and I'm like, okay, I'd rather like, I didn't even notice her ear. Truthfully, it's like one frame that we paused on. She's like, my ear looks so bad.
We're
All
just
right.
kidding.
And then she has the nerve to talk about her ear when she got me looking like a hunchback. I'm telling you straight up, a hunchback. I look disgusting.
She looked great. We had so much fun. Learned so much about coffee. I now have my new favorite spot. They need one near my house. That's all. Tune in next time.
And now for the getting to know us portion.
We hope you enjoy.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And welcome to the very first episode of Berta Bound.
Besties. Woo woo.
We are your Berta Bound besties. My name is Bridget Boyko,
I'm Rochelle Sagem.
and we will be taking you on a little journey this summer if you want to join us. We will be going to different parts of Alberta, Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Fort Mac, visiting local spots, local food places, local people, just kind of exploring everything good old Alberta has to offer.
Yeah, it's going to be super fun. We're hoping that you guys enjoy it.
And if you don't, please don't tell us because it'll hurt our feelings.
I will cry. But, like, truthfully, I'll get over it. I won't care too much.
We're here for a good time this summer, and we hope you will join us along on this ride.
Yes.
But before we get into the super cool, amazing things we are going to do this summer, we are going to take this opportunity to let you know a little bit about us.
Yes, we have a bunch of random questions that I found just for fun. I feel like it's, like, not your typical, like, oh, how old are you? Like, what do you do for a job? It's a lot funner than that. So, we can start with, how old are you, Bridget?
No basic questions here at all.
That's
No
like
basic
the only
questions.
basic one, okay? It's fine.
I am 22 years old.
That's insane. Me too.
So crazy. It's almost like we met in school together in grade 5.
Literally. Yeah, so we've known each other for 13 years now. We've done a couple different projects together. The one that's most notable is Stuffies for Puppies, where we raised
Oh my goodness.
we got donations of like little stuffed animals and gave them to the SPCA, which was really fun, really cool.
It was grade 6 we did that. 6th grade.
Grade 6.
We've been people since an early age.
I have not. You just kind of force me to do things, but that's fine. That's how I get out of my comfort zone.
Exactly, and she has fun doing them. I just want that on the record.
yeah.
I am not like twisting her arm, being like, "We're doing this." I'm like, "Hey,
Not
be
always.
fun."
Not all the time. Yeah, so that's a little bit about us. We've worked together in the past.
We
if you
also
can
worked
say
at
that.
Dairy Queen together for.
my goodness.
I worked there for 4 years. How long did you work there?
4 years as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you left. Yeah. That was an interesting time, but I just want to let everyone know that I can still do the curl amazingly, 100%.
And if you don't know what she's referring to, the ice cream cone, it has a little curl on the top.
Oh, right there. That's just DQ lingo coming out.
Her curl was way better than mine. But I was really good at blending blizzards. I was pretty good at.
I don't think you can suck at that, but that's fine.
Have you been to Dairy Queen? There have been times
Okay,
when
true.
my blizzard is not mixed.
True.
But I know it's hard, so I'm not judging people who don't blend blizzards properly at Dairy Queen.
Understandable. You guys are busy all the time. Anyway, okay, let's not. This isn't a sponsored ad for Dairy Queen, so let's get off that.
I do want to try their new summer blizzards,
No,
though.
they're really good. I had one. They're so good. Okay, where did your interest in content creation stem from? Not a creator.
Wow, Rochelle, I'm glad you asked. I have been an annoying center of attention-y type performer from a young age. Everyone in my family will tell you. Rochelle will know. I saw a play in kindergarten, and then I was obsessed with acting and being in front of people. And ever since then, I've done so much, like acting, singing, dancing, modeling for 0.2 seconds.
That was insane. You have a lot under your belt. I'm really proud of you for that. It's so
Aw,
cool.
you're so cute.
I get to
thanks.
like flex you too, which is great.
I'm not much to flex, but yeah,
you really
my interest kind of just stems in. I hope they can't see my toes in the camera when I point them up. Sorry if everyone's seeing my dogs.
Yeah, literally. Could they see my dogs?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Anyway, content creation. I love being creative and creating things.
Creating content.
What a
That's
day, what a day. I
insane.
love creating content. No, I just love creativity and all aspects of it. Where did your interest in content creation stem from?
Well, truthfully,
You can also take
Oh yeah, sorry, you're like holding it. Truthfully, I wouldn't say I have one. It's very interesting. I'm just not good with like technology, and I'm kind of a shy person. So yeah, I don't really do any content creation, but the reason why I'm here is because she texted me. I was the only friend that would do it. And so she's like, "Would you do this
She
for
was
me?"
my first choice.
I'm like, sure. She says that. I don't think that's true, but
Unless Brelyn is watching this, then Brelyn, you were my first choice, but you're not of legal age in Alberta, so you couldn't be my partner.
Berlin, you were second choice. You always will be second choice next to me. I'm just kidding. Okay, so stemming from that question, what is your preferred art style?
Well, I adore all types of art. Like, people who can paint and draw are me. I had a picture up there that I'm not a good artist. Let me just say that. Drawing, painting, I cannot do. It's so bad. I love acting. I love singing. Actually, I don't love singing. I just say singing
You're good
often.
at singing, though.
Thank you, but I'm a character singer. Like, I love singing for musical theater.
Yeah.
You would not find me singing well around like a campfire or at karaoke. Like, well, I don't know. I don't camp, but if I did, like, no, I don't real people sing. I like actingly sing.
Yeah.
Act sing. Yeah. Yeah, and I love dance and I love editing. Not on Adobe Premiere though. I'm just kidding. No. Editing's fun. Making videos is fun. I love all art styles, but my favorite is acting.
Yeah.
If I could do anything, it would be. Oh, and I love writing too. That's kind of art. I don't know.
Oh, it is art. You're very good at writing. She's pretty insane. She has a project coming up.
I swear I'm not paying her. I swear I'm not.
She's not. I'm just nice. I don't want to be mean to you in front of all of our fans. My preferred art style is music. I listen to music a lot. Yeah. I'm like, what? What are you saying under your breath that I mess up already? I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm not talented in anything kind of artsy. I do my own nails, which is pretty artsy.
Insanely amazing at it.
Thanks.
Look, guys, girls, everyone.
Thanks. So that's kind of pretty artistic of me. I can't draw for like the life of me. Like, I suck at it, which is really upsetting because I want to be a tattoo artist, and then I realized that you actually need to know how to draw and not just like copy things off Google. So that was a hard pill to swallow, but yeah, I think music is the biggest one for me. Yeah.
Speaking of music, I'm so good at this. Speaking of music, what song reminds you of me?
So this is not our first take of this interview. And I said tongue-tied last time because it's a very upbeat song, and I love that song, and it puts me in a good mood, and Bridget does as well. I think I'll keep it like that, or Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. And that is so random, but it's such a good song. And the first time I heard it, I was with you, and you're like, I used to listen to this song as a kid. And I'm like, damn, what a wild childhood you have to listen to that song with like your cousins and your mom. So that's pretty cool.
It was a fun song. Being a child, if you haven't listened to it, listen to it. I couldn't tell you.
Not in front of your mom.
Not in front of your mom. I couldn't tell you who it's by, but it's called Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. We just thought it was fun, and we didn't understand the song. That's why it was fun to sing. But when I did the words, it's great. It's great. When I answered this question before for Rochelle, pretty sure I said Hollywood's Bleeding by Post Malone.
Good song.
Because her and I went to see Post Malone together, 2019. Imagine this. Let me set the scene for you. 2019, November, end of November, right before COVID happened, but we didn't know COVID was going to happen. Yeah. we last minute booked a trip to LA to see Post Malone. I don't know why LA, but we did.
Well, okay, so it started in September. Vancouver for my birthday. I'll hold up. He was in Vancouver for my birthday, and I was like, perfect, we should go. And then it was like, I think that would have given us like 2 weeks to get everything ready. So instead of going in Canada, we decided, why not go to LA? We've always wanted to go. I feel like that's something we've always said we wanted to do together, is go to LA, because like, what little kids who are like obsessed with acting and movies wouldn't want to go to LA? And so yeah, we booked it. It was like terrible. Like, we had nothing. We didn't have passports. We like literally had absolutely nothing. I think the passports came a couple weeks before we like actually needed to go.
Because we booked the trip like a week or two prior to. Oh, but
Yeah.
we got passports before we actually booked the flight.
Yeah. But we booked it in November, and we like, I think we got back the 19th. There's something about that day that's just ringing in my head. So yeah, it was quite interesting, but it was a fun time. We had fun. It was good. It was like 3 days. So definitely go for longer if you're going to go. But yeah. So we talked about LA. Let's talk about Edmonton, where we're from. Do you have a favorite spot in Edmonton that you like to go to?
I do. And this was also mentioned in the last one, if anyone saw our last interviews. I don't know why I did that with my hair, because it probably looks weird now.
Let me see. No, you're fine.
Okay, thank gosh.
Wait. Okay, go.
Thank you. My favorite spot in Edmonton, I don't know where it is. I think it's on Fort Saskatchewan Drive, if that's a thing. Is that a street? I think that's a street.
It sounds familiar, but there's so many different streets, and like, because I don't drive, I don't know. So.
This is fair.
We'll
I
say
do
yes.
drive, I just don't know. Google Maps is my best friend. So, no, I think it's Fort Saskatchewan Drive. Like, it's a little grassy area, and there's a little fence. And you can look and see the entire city, and like it overlook.
I think you took us one time.
I think I did, because it overlooks like the Walterdale Bridge, I think. And it's like a 10-minute walk from White Ave, not even. Like 5-10 minute walk from White Ave. And I love it because you can go to Block 1912, get some gelato, and then walk over there and like just see the whole city. And at nighttime, the lights are there. Delicious. Edmonton is a city.
I meant Block 1912, but sure, Edmonton is cool like that.
But yeah, it's just like super cute. I love lights. I love gelato. You just can't go wrong with that little area.
Truthfully.
What is your favorite spot in Edmonton?
I like Rundle Park. I like to go for walks, but I hate walking where people could see me. I know that's very dangerous, but like I hate walking with like houses and there's neighbors out and you need to like smile at people and like all this stuff. So when I go for a walk,
She's really nice, I swear.
I'm so nice. It's just like I'm nice when I have to be, but like I don't always want to be nice. So like sometimes you just want to be by yourself. And so yeah, Rundle's great for that. You're in like the trees, but you're not like in danger. Hopefully. I mean, I've never been in danger, so that's fine. But Rundle's fun. So back to this little thing we're doing. What do you think your strengths and weaknesses are going to be?
My strengths are everything. I'm just kidding. Definitely not. No, I'm kidding. I'm not physically strong, so that's not a strength.
You don't need to be physically strong.
Yeah, we do. We have little cases. They're heavy.
Okay,
They're full of
they
stuff.
They are actually very heavy.
Wait, did you ask for strengths or weaknesses? Strengths?
Both.
Oh, both.
Yeah.
Okay, so strengths. I like talking.
Mm-hmm.
I like people. I like being in front of a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Editing is fun sometimes. We'll get into my weaknesses later. Yeah, I think that's about it. I have like previous experience interviewing. I went to NAIT for a little while for TV and radio broadcasting. So I'm not
Very
like
cool.
totally foreign to the idea of like interviewing people and going to different things and whatnot. Weaknesses. It's a new editing software that this program uses. So that's been a bit of a learning curve. As well, just dealing with all the technical aspects. I've also never done that in such a high volume, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm really used to being in front of the camera or like the way behind it. So like either acting in front of the camera, or writing, which happens way prior to actual filming. Like using a camera is semi new to me, so that's been an experience. And yeah, I think that touches on most of my stuff.
So she is good at everything. I think my strengths. Oof, we'll go to my weaknesses. I'm technically challenged. Like, it's insane. I'm young, but I don't know anything about technology, so that's very hard for me. Editing, like, I won't even try. It's like so overwhelming, so good for you for doing that. I like to think that I'm a people person, and like I can kind of talk to people when I'm like forced to. Just kidding. But yeah, I think I'm good with talking to people, so I think that's my biggest strength going into this. And I'm always up to learn new things, so that's a good strength to have.
And you have a fun personality too, which is relatable.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very relatable in a very terrible way. So I'm trying to just look at the questions and see which ones kind of go with it. I don't think any of them are. The ones that I put are so random. I always ask people this. If you could be anything in the world right now at this exact moment, like no training needed, nothing, what would you be?
Like as a profession?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I would be... The only thing coming to my brain right now is a dolphin trainer. I can't swim.
That is so random. Okay,
I've
you
never
have the skills. Like,
oh yeah, that's fair. But like I've never in my life been like I want to be. Actually, no, I would want to be like a working successful actor, which is kind of hard at the moment because so there's like it's hard right now because there's a writer's strike and whatnot. But I don't know. Dolphin trainer just kind of came to my brain. My younger sister, she talked about being a dolphin trainer for like 2 seconds, and I don't even like going in the water, so I don't know where that came from in my brain, but maybe a little bit of a dolphin trainer, maybe an actor, maybe both.
Love it.
A dolphin training actor. Like the possibilities are really endless. That's so what would you be?
I would be a surgeon.
Really?
Yeah, I think that'd be very fun. Damn. Very, very fun. I just actually no, a surgeon or I think it's called a pathologist. So like the person that goes like analyzes how someone like has passed away. Oh. Yeah, I think that'd be very interesting, but that's a lot of schooling, and I'm not a fan of schooling, so that's never going to happen. So I'd probably finish when I'm like 38. So no, thank you, but yeah, I think that'd be a really interesting job. I like high stress stuff, so. This one's my favorite question that I added. What's your favorite recent memory?
My favorite recent memory. Do you have one off the top of your head?
Yes.
Okay, you go first.
So it was during COVID, and I have a big family, and I have 2 sisters, one older, one younger, and we got very close because we were all stuck in the same house. And it was when things were kind of lifting. There was a big thunderstorm, and we decided to go walking in Grease Spa. And there's like a big hill that you can go on top of and like see the city. It's a really beautiful view. But yeah, we decided to walk up. It was like hailing, I think, really bad. The storm was very close. It wasn't the best idea that we had, but it was super fun. And then I got a little Polaroid of my sister and I have it next to my PC. So yeah, very cute. Yeah.
That's so wholesome. I literally love that. That reminds me of my family during COVID. We were having a fire. We were roasting, like we were cooking like hot dogs and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was like it started raining. And then we had to bring everything inside, and it starts like torrentially downpouring. And then it was
probably the same night.
Yeah, probably. But that was actually really fun. And something else just happened. I just got together with, maybe Easter. I think Easter, because like saw my family. Yeah. We always like play games outside, so it was like super fun. Yeah, just always good things happening, you know. Yeah. There's always good in life. You just have to look for it. Speaking of good things,
Sorry, I'm reading some of these questions and I'm like,
they're so random. I'm telling you, they're so random, but they're kind of fun.
what is your favorite city in Alberta? Let's go to that.
Ooh.
Speaking of good things, tell me about a good little city in Alberta.
Do you have one in mind?
Absolutely.
What is it? You go first. I'm still thinking.
Well, I love Calgary because I'm a big Calgary Flames fan. I am just kidding.
Like, when? Since when do you watch hockey?
I watch the Oilers. I'm a big Edmonton Oilers fan. I can name a single player on that team.
If it's not Conor McGregor, go ahead.
The hockey players watching are just curling their fingers.
All of none of them.
My favorite city in Alberta is probably, if it's not a city, that's gonna be so embarrassing.
I was thinking
for me.
the same thing. Like,
I'm really bad with geography.
Me too. We should have taken this question.
I shouldn't have asked this. I'm gonna say Canmore. I think that's a city in Alberta, or Edmonton. I know Edmonton is a city, so maybe I should run with Edmonton. I love Edmonton because I grew up here. It's my hometown. It's full of fun, great stuff. And I would say Canmore because we used to travel there a lot when I was a kid. And it's beautiful and amazing. And it's just a lot of fond memories in Canmore.
I would say Calgary because that's the other city that I know of in Alberta. I like Calgary because...
Grand Prairie, Fort Mac. Sorry, Lac La Biche.
Sure.
Lloydminster.
Truthfully, Calgary. And the reason why is because it's close to the mountains. It's your favorite Red Deer, Bridget? No. Are you sure? I'm going to stick with Calgary. Thank you so much, though.
Because of the mountains?
It's close to the mountains, yeah, but you still have, like, the city night life, which is pretty fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Calgary is pretty fun. And it's, like, home away from home, if that makes sense. So it's like Edmonton, but it's not. So I still feel safe. And I feel like I know the area. But there's, like, cool little places to go. So, and their Red Bridge is fun.
I don't know what bridge that is.
I don't know the name of it, but
we went there.
Yeah, we did. That was fun.
We've seen the world together.
Truly have. Calgary to LA. What more do you need?
That's it.
Do you or have you collected anything?
If you glance, you all can't see them, but there are Starbucks gift cards that are in like cool shapes. Hanging on the side of my...
gift cards?
Yeah, they're all gift cards. There's like a bunny, an egg, a heart,
That is very
a
fun.
piece of fruit. My mom's gotten them for me, and so I don't actually collect them because I don't get enough of them to collect them, but I keep them sometimes. I'm just looking. We're currently filming in my room, and I'm looking around my room to see what I collect. I used to, when I was a kid, I collected the Wizard of Oz toys from the Happy Meal.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was in search. Oh my gosh, I remember like making my mom go from McDonald's to McDonald's because the only one I was missing was Glinda the Good Witch. And I never found it until I was playing at my best friend's house from kindergarten. Tyler, if you're watching this, she had it and she gave it to me because we were playing with it. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is the one I've been looking for. And she was like, it's from McDonald's. You can have it. And I was like, stop. Thank you.
Wow,
Best day of my life. Best day of my life. Yeah, that was so... Wow.
That's so cute.
I know, right? What about you? Collections?
So I don't collect anything now, but when I was younger, I used to, the Double Bubble, I think that's what it's called. Mm-hmm. The comics. I had like a big shoebox full of them. Yeah. And then I don't even know where they went. I think I just threw them out. Like one day I was like, I'm so over this. I don't need these anymore. And I threw them out. But yeah, that was really good. Really fun time. Okay, let's see. I don't have a bucket list. And this question made me realize that I should get a bucket list. But what's one thing on your bucket list?
This is awkward. I also don't have a bucket list. I've always wanted to be someone who has one.
Me too.
Like I always see in the movies, they're like, oh, this is my bucket list. These are the things I want to do. And I don't get me wrong, I have things I want to do, but I don't have them written down in a list form. Yeah. I really want to go travel across Europe. I'd love to live there for 6 months, a year, and then jump from country to country. I have more ambitions than this, but that's the only one I can think of.
On the spot. I literally thought of these questions and didn't think of a single answer, and I'm really regretting it, but that's fine. Bucket list. I did want to skydive. I'm over that now.
Stupid idea.
I am like so scared, and like my ears. What did I think? Like, yeah. Here's my issue. I'm not scared of heights. I'm scared of man-made things. So like I don't trust roller coasters, not because of the height, but because I'm like there's screws and like this random person put it together. I'm not gonna trust that. Which I think is very valid, but
Totally valid. Except I think we should take into account the fact that these people have been trained.
Have you been to K-Days? I need you to like no, they have not been properly trained. Bucket list. I'd like to swim with sharks. Even though I can't swim, like going to
This girl's like, I don't trust anything man-made. It's literally so sketchy, but I will gladly jump into a cage, be put in the water, in the ocean where sharks are at their strongest, and I will swim with them.
Strongest. I love that. Because like if you take them out of water, you're right, they're dead. Like they're not strong out of water.
Okay, the point I was trying to make is like these roller coasters, I mean, hypothetically, in like a very extreme sense, could kill you. Mm-hmm. But these sharks, like not even in an extreme sense, like in a just blatant fact,
they
could
feel
in
like
fact
it.
kill you.
Yeah. I mean, it would still be fun.
That's fair.
Yeah. Or like pet a, what did you say, rabbit? Pet like a tiger? Like that would be pretty cool. But I think
Like I've always wanted to pet a rabbit. It would just like really make my
I've never caught
day.
one before. It would be really cool. Okay. What's your favorite random fact?
My favorite random fact, like about myself or about the world in general?
We could do both.
Okay, so about the world in general, usually my go-to one is bananas are an excellent source of potassium, but I feel like that's very generic.
Yeah.
So I'll keep thinking about that one. About myself,
This is the one I read and I was thinking about, and I have not thought of anything. So.
Oh, I know. This always surprises people, so I guess this is my surprising random fact. But I know both of the periodic table of elements songs.
That is so cool.
Thank you so much. I'm really cool at parties. What can I say?
Like, that's such a
Whipping
flex.
out facts. About the world, I'm gonna have to do a little thinky think.
Okay, well. Fun fact about myself.
All of them are fun.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, because you're stuck with yourself 24/7, you think you're very boring. I have, like, a dislocated pinky, which used to freak my mom out as a child. I can do a lot of weird things with my tongue. That's very strange to say. But, yeah, all the stuff that they do in, like, the Guinness Book of World Records, if that's still a thing, I can do with my tongue. And then a random fact, I have no idea. This might be wrong. I actually read it on a little bubblegum comic. Mosquitoes have 47 teeth. I think that's it. That could be wrong. Don't.
I feel like we should check.
Should we fact check it? Like, yeah, fact check it.
I will fact check it, but I will take off my phone case.
But you
first,
can't
so
show
that
the
you
other
can-
phone as well. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. All right, let's fact check.
Or that male seahorses have babies.
Yeah, I knew that one.
That one's pretty cool.
Mosquitoes have.
Search up how many teeth do mosquitoes have.
Thank you. I was writing mosquitoes have teeth.
Perfect. 47.
47.
Cool. Look at me go.
The more you know.
Yeah.
My random worldly fact. I'll just disappoint. I don't think I have one. We'll run with my bananas fact. I may think of one later on that I will share. Yeah, because at the moment, I'm cracking under the pressure. Actually, do you know billbirds?
No.
Okay, well, I'll show you pictures of them. I learned that they're a thing, and they are very interesting
Are
birds.
they the ones that look like dinosaurs?
Yes!
They're really cool. That
I
is
guess
a
they're
fun
not a
little
fact, but
I'm trying to
they
think if I can
are
find
a thing. Are they called billbirds? Oh,
one. I have
I don't
actually no
remember.
idea.
Okay, everyone, I've disappointed again. I don't remember.
Fake, and I think
they
everyone
do.
who knows them knows exactly what we're talking about. They're weird.
You either know or you don't.
Yeah,
sorry. Like, you're either in the club or you're not.
I swear to you, if you search a bird that looks like it's from the prehistoric times, you'll find it. And it, like, sounds really weird, too.
Yeah, it looks
it's very
odd.
scary, yeah.
It's very weird. Moving on. What is your strangest irrational fear?
Dinosaurs. I think that, they just made a meatball out of, what is it? Not a manatee. The big elephants with the horns that are extinct now.
Oh, Manny was it in Ice Age?
Yeah.
Mammoth.
A mammoth, yeah. So they're trying to bring that back. And they made a meatball out of it. And all of the scientists are too scared to eat it. But, like, yeah, you can, like, search it up. It's literally, like, a meatball, which, like, give it to me, you know? Put a little pasta on that. I'll try it. As long as it's not going to kill me. But
She's a wild one.
I am.
Doesn't trust anything man-made, but she will
eat a man-made meatball. Yeah, so I think that after this is successful, because they can clone things now, they're going to go on to dinosaurs. And I swear to you, there's going to be Jurassic Park in real life. And I hope I never see it, because that's terrifying to me. So, yeah, it's my irrational fear.
Fair. I mean, I don't know if I would say dinosaurs are an irrational fear, because they're pretty scary.
See, because
a little
I think
spooky.
There's a lot of, like, people who are like, you're scared of birds. And I'm like, number one, yes, they're scary. But when I tell people that I'm scared of dinosaurs, they're like, they're just birds. I'm like, they're really not just birds. And scientists are very intelligent, but can be very stupid individuals. And I think it's going to happen. People are like, you're being dramatic.
That's fair. I think my only irrational fear is, but I think a lot of people have this, so, like, maybe it's not just me, but when I'm sleeping, I always have to have, like, my entire body under the blanket, because I'm like, what if a scary monster comes and, like, pulls me out of my bed? Because they can do that when I'm not under my blanket.
No, it makes sense.
Exactly, right? But I'm also really scared. There was something else I was going to say. That was, like, a weird fear that I had, but I can't remember what it is. Dinosaurs. Now it's gone.
Birds.
It's escaped me.
Birds.
Word on. Yeah, no, it's, yeah,
It's
never
gone.
mind. It's gone. She's gone. So we're just going to move right along to celebrities. Have you met one? Which one would you meet? What's the vibe with that?
I have not met a celebrity. I don't think I'd want to meet a celebrity, because I always told myself that I would be very cool and collected if I saw someone, because they're just humans. And then not even met. Post Malone walked in front of me and I almost passed out. And so I am never going to see a celebrity. I'm never going to meet a celebrity, meet and greets. No, like, I'm like a crazy fangirl, and it's quite embarrassing to admit it, but I don't want to meet a celebrity at all. So, yeah.
You're really self-aware, which is good.
I know, I am. I'm like, that is the most embarrassing time of my entire life. He walked up to me and I screamed in his face, so that's cool.
For the Post Malone concert we went to, we were floor, like pit, I guess, like
front.
right next to the stage,
Yeah.
right in front of it. So we, like, looked right at him, everything. He came around to, like, touch everyone's hand, and that was when she had her moment with him.
Yeah.
So it was pretty amazing.
He fell in love with me. He just doesn't want to admit it. He's shy.
He's shy. We love that for you. Celebrities. Yeah, I've met celebrities. I've met the Queen of England.
That's cool. I tell everyone about that.
Yeah, I met her. Gave her a rose when she came to Edmonton for some reason.
2002.
Yeah, I was very young. I was a child.
Yeah.
But it still counts. I've met Shawn Mendes twice. I have met...
I forgot about that. Wow.
That is...
Wow.
I love Shawn Mendes.
He's an
Big,
icon.
big Shawn Mendes fan myself. He's very cool. I feel like I met another celebrity, but I can't think about it. No, maybe that's everyone. I'm trying to think of the concerts and the things that I've done. Actually, do you consider hockey players
I was just thinking
celebrities?
that, like, you met a hockey player. Yeah, we'll say that, because that's a pretty big deal in Edmonton. to
Yeah,
meet an
I
NFL.
met Ryan Nugent Hopkins in the airport when I was like 12.
Tell me
and-
about the picture.
So we took a picture. It was myself, my younger sister, and my oldest sister. And my oldest sister taken, this was like 2010, 2009, 2008, somewhere in that general area. We took a picture with him. My sister posts it on Facebook, my older one, and she crops my younger sister and I out. So it's just her and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And she posts this on Facebook and has the audacity to be like, oh my gosh, I met Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I'm like, girl, I was literally there.
That is my favorite story ever.
It was so funny. We still bug her about it to this day. But she's recently taken the photo off Facebook because I stalked her the other day because I was talking about it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. If I could meet a celebrity, is it dead or alive, or they have to be alive?
Sure, we could do dead or alive.
Dead celebrities, Robin Williams, Audrey Hepburn.
The classics.
Yeah. Alive celebrities, Louis Capaldi, Dermot Kennedy.
Love Louis.
I have a lot of people I would love to meet, and will hopefully meet one day.
You will. I believe in you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. She's so supportive. What a queen. Love her. Moving on. The order of these questions.
I don't really order them.
They're so random. So you can definitely tell Rochelle was on interview question duty because the order that these go in, it's so funny. Moving on. What is the grossest thing you would do for $100?
The only thing that came to mind when I read grossest thing was when I was a child. And I did a lot of gross things that I don't want to admit here. But now that I'm thinking about it, $100 isn't a lot in this economy, like at all. If I'm being so real with you, like
no,
it's really not, actually. So we're gonna change that to $10,000 because I think that's just funner.
Okay, I mean, I'll do it.
And I would do a lot more for $10,000 versus $100.
This is very fair.
The issue is like I feel like then you're kind of getting to the where like why did your brain even take you there? Like why would you think of that? Like I would eat an acorn.
An acorn?
Yeah, that's all right. There's a tree right there, so like an acorn's pretty cool.
Are they edible?
Squirrels eat them, don't they?
Yeah, but actually I don't know.
It's $10,000.
You can pay for your.
I would get like
surgeries that you'll have to have after eating it.
Yeah, I mean we live in Canada, so.
Yeah, but you still like if you don't have coverage.
Oh yeah, true. Get coverage. I would get like stung by something or like bitten by something, like a snake. Here's me thinking that like it's gonna be in like a controlled environment, so like I'll be fine. Like people get bit all the time with like snakes and stuff like that, or like really intense bugs, and they survive.
Can I just say your thought process worries me? Like this girl was like, I will never step foot on a roller coaster, but she's like, a python? Go ahead. Like I'm open for business.
Yeah, let's
do it. Like, I mean, good for you.
What? Yeah, I mean, like it's not man-made, so I'm fine.
So it's trustworthy.
And like I would feel a lot less embarrassed if something happened to me. You got yours. If something happened to me in like nature and like something was like versus like me falling off like a roller coaster. Like I think that's more embarrassing.
Embarrassing? I don't think it's embarrassing.
I know that's like really bad to say. That's how I like. That's my scale. Like embarrassing or like not that embarrassing. So yeah, $10,000 I'd get bitten by a couple snakes.
But just so everyone knows, if you ever fall off a roller coaster, she'll be the first one laughing at you.
No, I won't laugh at you. That's so mean. I'm so sorry to anyone who's ever needed to deal with that. Oh, goodness.
Oh, that's too much. I myself, I can't think of. Don't think I would get bitten by a snake.
That's understandable.
I mean, maybe if it's not a poisonous one, but if it's poisonous, then I wouldn't do it. So I guess that kind of defeats the purpose of getting bit by a snake.
That's like getting bit by a human.
I don't think I would get bit by a human. That's kind of unsettling, a little unnerving.
Yeah,
That's like top of the embarrassment list. So, I can't eat very much. Like I know people are like, I eat bugs. I could not be on Survivor or any of those shows where they like heavily eat things because, oh my gosh, or like sitting in like the tubs of like the bugs.
No.
I can't. Like maybe if it was life or death, but for
Yeah.
$10,000, I don't think so. I don't think anything would like get that image out of my brain.
You know what? Yeah, you'd be traumatized 100%.
That's what I'm thinking. Like nightmares of like
Yeah.
feeling like they're still on you. I could not.
Yeah.
So grossest thing I'd do for $10,000, maybe get bit by something to an extent. Actually, I'm pretty boring. I don't think I would do that much. Maybe get bit by a snake. Maybe stung by a bee. But they say
Stung
gross.
by a bee for $10,000?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm allergic to bees. Maybe this is really like a
You're
big
not,
deal.
though.
How do you know?
Have you ever been bitten by a bee?
No.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I don't know if I'm allergic.
Damn.
Have you been bitten by a bee?
Yeah, I was trying to save my little sister at... Yeah. I'm a hero. What can I say? No, they was just like buzzing around her, and I was like, I think 6, and I was like, Ella, there's a bee by you, and she got scared and started running, and I'm like, I'll get it away. So I like smacked it with my hand. It stung me, which I feel really bad.
reason.
Yeah, no, and like now this poor bee's dead, and I ruined the trip. So yeah, it was just not a win-win, but I think we got Dairy Queen afterwards, so I was fine with it. Yeah.
That's where your love of DQ started.
Oh yeah, and ended.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Maybe I drink something like salsa. Like that's gross. Drinking it straight. Ooh.
It's interesting how our minds work. That is gross. But like, you think that's worth like who would come up to you and be like $10,000 and you chug this salsa?
Who would come up to you and be like $10,000 if the snake
I
bites
think
you?
that's more plausible than.
But that's sketchier because the person who has the snake, I would be worried what they have fed that snake.
You know what? That's very true.
Just
oh,
saying.
interesting what they fed the snake. I don't think that affects the venom, what they eat.
Okay, but hypothetically it could. What if they give them drugs or something?
Oh my goodness.
You don't know these things.
Very true. Very true. I'll still do it though. $10,000. It's fine.
Yeah, so maybe I would drink a large helping of something or eat a large helping of something.
I would do like mayo. Like I would make you do mayo. If I got $10,000.
I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, me neither.
That's
Yeah,
a little
no,
off-putting.
That would need to be more. Like I would get bit over eating mayo any day.
I think I would too. That's just like,
Ugh.
I love mayo on stuff, like with
yeah.
stuff, but
By
not.
itself.
I don't think it tastes good. But then again, I also don't know.
Too.
It's very distinct.
Yeah.
It's very distinct.
Not into it. I have this weird thing where like I can't. Some sauces, actually, we're gonna go into this. Most sauces smell very bad. And there's something that I have where if like, for example, ketchup, like if someone's eating ketchup and I don't have ketchup or I'm not eating ketchup, like I will gag. Like it's so disgusting. Like mayo is one of them. Like if I'm not eating mayo and someone's like mayo and fries, I like will throw up. Ranch too. Just got over the ranch one.
I love ranch.
Me too. But it does have like a distinct smell.
It definitely does.
So, yeah. Not into it.
So what's your favorite sauce?
Oof. That is a good question.
We should have done the hot wings thing.
I'm pretty sure that's copywritten, if
Oh,
I'm being honest
probably.
with you. I'm sure we could get in contact with him. He want us on there. It's fine.
Sorry, your favorite sauce.
My favorite sauce. I like a good, like, spicy mayo. Actually, my sister got this hot sauce made with truffle oil.
Ooh.
That is delicious.
Sounds rich.
Real good. Yeah, real good. Her man bought it for her, and I've been eating it. So thank you so much. Iconic.
That's so funny. I love that. What's the next one?
Well, what's your favorite sauce? I'd like to know.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Wow. Okay. You're gonna make me answer all the questions?
Yeah, I'm making you do all the work.
Truthfully.
My favorite sauce is probably ranch. I really like ranch.
Just like, are you the type to know the difference between like peppercorn ranch and stuff?
oh,
like that?
I don't like just like regular ranch.
Ranch,
Or
okay.
blackened ranch. What's the one I got from Popeyes that
Yeah,
day? Blackened?
Blackened ranch.
That was yummy.
Good, yeah.
I'm not a big like
I don't know
the
about that.
bacon ranch.
You need to
That
look
one
this up.
isn't.
There we go. Continue.
The bacon ranch isn't really my thing. Or like my mom bought this 3 cheese one time that I didn't really vibe with. Yeah. It's just not real ranch, you know?
I know what you mean. Do you like the tubs of ranch? Like if you get like the jar of ranch, have you ever had those? No. Like the ones that come in the fruit platters.
Oh,
that's really good ranch.
That's
high quality ranch there.
Big ranch.
Love it.
We're just some gals who love their ranch, honestly. Ranch sponsor ranch. I'm talking to the brand.
Ranch sponsor us. Iconic.
I just randomly thought of, I don't know what the company is, but they're like cranberry farmers, and their commercials always used to be them, and then they'd be like, no sugar added, and the guy dumps it and he's like, don't use these cranberries over here.
We should do that. Next big adventure were those guys.
We should go cranberry farming. That'd be fun.
Actually, this is so random, but it's fine. There's a lot of spiders in cranberry farms. Yeah. It's a random fact that I know.
You just heard it on the street.
Yeah. I was getting bit by a snake, actually. They told me about it. Yeah, no, there's like a lot of like, because they're like water spiders, and so they're like huge.
That makes sense. I didn't even know that.
Disgusting. Yeah, not a fun time. Let's see. What's the most random impulse buy that you've ever gotten?
That I've ever bought?
Yeah.
Here's a little ASMR.
Enough.
My biggest impulse buy, honestly, everything for me is an impulse buy. Like I'm like, you know what? I deserve it. We were talking about this the other day. Like, I can't leave my house. Yeah, little treats. I'm a treat girl. I can't leave my house without getting a treat. I'm leaving my house. I'm going to the public. I'm getting a coffee. I'm getting a snack. I'm getting something. I deserve it. I've worked hard. I've left my house. That means I got ready. So
you're right.
I'm a big treat gal. But I'm trying to think of like something random that I don't use anymore. I'm looking around my room, but it's probably just the numerous coffees that I buy like in a day, because I'm like, you know what? No, I deserve this.
I buy a lot of like stupid stuff for the plot, I like to think. So like I'll get like stupid like glasses, like sunglasses, like visor ones, because I'm like, these are hilarious. These would be so funny if like my sister and I wore these. Like why? Like why do I need them? My biggest impulse though, like the most I've ever spent on something, would be my PC setup. That was like literally, I was like, that would be cool to have one. And I think within the month I got like a whole setup. So, but you know, it works out great because I still use it to this day. It's my favorite thing ever. So very impulsive though. Would not recommend. It's a lot of money.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, we used to go shopping at the mall together when we were kids.
Oh.
And in like junior high, like grade 6,
yeah.
grade 7. And she bought a lightsaber one time.
Okay, I did. I've never watched those movies. They're just cool.
Which
and
movie?
Star Wars.
Are you sure it's in Star Trek?
Did I say Star Trek one time?
No, I don't know which one has a lightsaber.
Oh, no. I know because my dad's a big fan of Star Trek, and Star Trek's kind of like older.
Oh, okay.
But Star Wars.
In space.
Yeah. Is Star Wars in space?
I don't know. It's called Stars.
You know, that's very true. This is really embarrassing because we've never watched it. Anyway, back to my lightsaber. Saber.
Back to the
Is it life? It's not lifesaver.
Saber.
I always say lifesaver, like the candy. I bought it. And we got back to Bridget's house, and she was jealous. She's like, I wish I would have gotten one because it made cool sounds. It was like $7, and she was jealous of me. So
I didn't have any money at the time. Okay.
We were both very broke. We would we would each get like $5 and then go and get this like half ice cream, half Slurpee thing at the mall.
It was the best. I wish they didn't.
So good.
It was so yummy.
Yeah. I don't know how they did because we were keeping them in business.
We literally every single Saturday we were there.
Like clockwork. Great times. I put this in specifically for you. What is the worst outfit you've ever worn?
Oof. She just lives to embarrass me.
Now you're better at dressing yourself.
Now I'm better at dressing myself, but I still don't know anything about fashion. Fashion in itself is an art that I am not
capable of. Like, genuinely,
me out.
I can't dress myself. No. You're like, she's so stylish. I can't dress myself. I wear the same 3 things all the time because I don't know how to dress. But the worst outfit I ever wore, there are multiple, but my graphic tee phase is great.
That was a good phase.
It was not a good phase. It was like grade 6, grade 7, like those graphic tees from Urban Planet. All the time. It was my personality. Wearing the graphic tees was...
I have a story. So, Bridget was popular. She was. She would wear her... Actually, finish your outfit, because I know there's more to that outfit.
This is true. So the worst outfit I ever wore, actually, I wasn't even wearing a graphic tee at the time, but graphic tees were one of the many things that I wore that I should not have. The worst outfit was highlighter orange pants with a highlighter lime green tank top with a highlighter yellow t-shirt over top. I wore it in grade 7, and it lives rent-free in my brain. I think I have a photo of me wearing it. And I just am so glad that phones weren't really a thing at the time because no one has proof except me.
I'm just going to let you know. I'm pretty sure I wore that exact same thing because I'm pretty sure we got it while we were shopping. But I got pink and I think orange.
I love it.
Or like yellow, something like that.
We've been through it all together.
Yeah, truthfully have. The story I was going to say about her was, so she was popular and she would like, I'm telling you, like, there was like a whole year where she would not wear anything other than graphic tees. Like she didn't have anything. Yeah. No. Grade 6. And so everyone wanted to be like her. So this girl I was really excited because I didn't have a graphic tee and then my parents bought me one. Super excited to wear it. And then this girl, she wore one and Bridget comes up to me and she's like, I can't believe it. She's like trying to steal my style. Like, why would she do that? Like she knows that's my thing. And so I never wore the graphic tee. I just like was like, that's not coming out of my closet. And it didn't.
That's so embarrassing.
Yeah. No, it was pretty iconic, honestly. Why is she stealing my style? Truly iconic. Bridget's not like that anymore. Even though it was like, you were in grade 6, like that was a really big deal. But the worst outfit I ever wore.
Plaid?
I forgot about that one. I guess that is. I have like I've always like wanted to be like a fashion icon.
She is a fashion icon.
I'm really not, but so I got these like really cool ripped jeans. It was in grade 6 as well. Actually, you know what? I think we have a picture of me in this outfit and you in orange pants and a blue top. Yeah. Blue, great. But
color combo.
Yeah, no, truly iconic. Oilers fans since the beginning. But she, no, not, oof, let's start dogging you. I was wearing these, loose, torn up jeans and it looks like a bear, like attacked them. Like it was bad. Like, you know, like 2012 was it? Like that style, kind of like emo ripped jeans and like almost white, but they weren't white. They were like a light blue. And then I had a pair of, I think they're called moccasins. Are those the ones that are high?
I think.
Yeah, so they were up to my knees. And the pants were kind of loose on me because I didn't know, like, how to get ones that fit me properly. So I kind of, like, folded over the boots. And then I wore a zebra top and a plaid vest.
It was iconic.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure I had those, like, aviator glasses with the lines. And those were, like, bright yellow and green. So I've always just been dressing.
It's called fashion.
Yeah, look it up. This is once again so random. What kind of elderly person do you hope to be?
Well, I'll definitely be the one who always has candy in her purse.
Oh, 100%.
Like those old ladies.
Yeah.
I'm also going to be the ones that are faster than you think they are. Like they walk really, really slow until there's like a McDonald's senior sale or something. And then I'm like,
that.
I'm quick. I'm there.
They need to get that.
That actually is McDonald's. Like you can sponsor me. I'll be your elder. Like it's fine.
Truthfully.
Yeah. I just want to be fun. I want to be cool. I want all the kids to be like, oh, we're going to grandma's house and like genuinely be excited about it. That would be great.
I want to be just like unhinged. Like just no one knows what's happening. Yeah, just everything. Just like, is she okay? Is she doing it on purpose? Is she not? I want to be like a fun like grandma though, like a fun old person. I want to have a bunch of like dogs, like big dogs, and just like live in the woods probably. It's like an old person living in the woods, like a little hobbit. And be just running to me with the McDonald's. Perfect. What else? I also want to be the one who just is like fully covered in tattoos.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. I knew a lady. She was from my church. Shout out you. And she always wanted a tattoo, but her husband was like, no. And so her husband, they're older, and so her husband passed away, and she's like, now I can get a tattoo. And so she got a tattoo, so that was pretty iconic. She's my hero. But yeah, so unhinged. What movie do you wish you could watch again for the first time?
My first thought went to The Wizard of Oz because that's my favorite movie and I just adore it. But my second thought, also sorry, I just like swallowed really loud into the mic and then I proceeded to draw attention to it. So that's great.
We can crop this out. It's fine. Understandable. Okay.
It's okay, I'll crop it out.
Perfect. Okay, start it. What movie do you wish you could watch again for the first time?
My initial response was The Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's my favorite movie and I loved watching it. But my second thought went to Get Smart. If you've never seen it, it's hilarious and really funny. And I would just love to laugh at that level again and feel that level of happiness.
Yeah, understandable.
What about you?
Mine, I think this is what it's called. I think it's called Year One. Jack Black, Michael Cera.
It's a comedy, right?
Yeah. That movie's freaking hilarious. Favorite movie. Maybe of all time. Who knows? They kind of switch on a weekly basis. But that one's hilarious. And I watch it all the time and pee my pants. So 10 out of 10. Yeah, I'm trying to think. My first, like when I first wrote down this question, I thought of The Fault in Our Stars.
That's a good
Because it's such a good
movie.
such a good movie. But honestly, I react the same to it, whether I watch it in the first place or I watch it now. So
That's fair.
I just sob. So, yeah, probably something funny. Or, that's a big bug. Ew. Is that on the inside or outside?
No, it's on the inside.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I can't really think of any movies. What's your favorite movie?
The Wizard of Oz. I just said that. Good to know you're listening to all my answers.
She changed it. And you did. There was a point in time where you're like, honestly, it's not even my favorite movie anymore. And then now you're switching back to it.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Really?
What did I say? Dead Poet Society was my favorite movie? Because I did go to Dead Poet Society for.
I think maybe. Yeah.
Make sure you go this way, just because.
Yeah.
That's where the mic is. Yeah, because I watched Dead Poet Society in grade. I watched Dead Poet Society in grade 11, and if you haven't seen it, it's iconic.
Is that Robin Williams?
Robin Williams, yeah.
That's
It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, that's my favorite movie. But I've found a sense of comfort again in The Wizard of Oz, so it's back.
That's understandable.
Fighting for its title. What's your favorite movie?
It's
It's funny because we're best friends, and yet I feel like I know nothing about her.
I feel like this is our time to really get to know each other. When's your birthday? I'm just kidding. My favorite movie. This is hard. I always say I think Scream, like the Scream movies, 1, 2, and 3, really good. But my like comfort movie that I go to all the time is Coraline.
Really?
Yeah, I like use that to fall asleep.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's a very creepy movie, but really, really enjoyable. Love it. There's something about the little claymation stuff that I like. Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. But
Very cool.
yeah, I think it is at least.
It is cool.
But yeah, no, a lot of people like hate on it.
No. I think I feel like whatever works for people. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
100%.
there's a lot of different likes and dislikes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so it's like always good. What? Remember Coraline like scared me as a kid. I was like, oh, this is spooky. Like we're watching a scary movie, but it's actually like good, and the
It is a really
style
good
of the movie is very
Very cool.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah. This is our last question.
Yeah. Look at that. 41. It's been an hour. We need to do 10 more minutes.
Oh my gosh, look at us.
Wow. I am like so good at this. Wow.
Rochelle's really the
Hit
queen.
me up if you need questions.
Okay.
Do you have? Or do you need to
No,
think?
this is the last question, right? Wait, I was going to read that.
Yeah. It is last question.
My
If
brain
we
just
need
didn't
more,
work.
Like, I have more in my head, though.
Yeah. My brain just didn't work for a
No,
second. That happens a lot.
It's fine.
So,
It's a long day today, but it's fine.
last question,
Yeah.
or second last question, or whatever question. What are your pet peeves?
It's so hard because this is something that like I'll think about in like an hour or so when we're not together. Be like, I hate when people do that. But just think like the obvious, like when people are just rude for no reason. I can't stand when I see like older people disrespect young people in like the food industry. Like that is just, I've had so many people scream at me because of the prices. And I'm like, you really think if I made the prices, do you think I'd be here helping you? I wouldn't. Or like, yeah, I don't know. Is that like a pet peeve? Like rude people?
I think anything you want to be a pet peeve can be.
I also think like when people chew obnoxiously. But like I feel like I chew obnoxiously sometimes. So like
Never. I've been your friend for 15 years, but I've never.
okay, good. That's like my biggest fear. Or slow walkers.
Oh.
When I'm a grandma, I'm not gonna be a slow walker, and if I am, push me out of the way, because like actually don't, that's so mean. But
Shove her over.
yeah, like I don't go to malls because I've realized that like people go to malls to look around and like window shop and take their time, and like if I go to a mall, I'm there for one reason only, and I'm getting out as soon as I can. So like WEM, never go to WEM. You will not catch me dead in WEM at all. Why not at all ever? That was really weird. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think those are my pet peeves.
So my pet peeves, some are pretty illogical, but some are like valid. So, but they all work for me. I can't stand liars. I'm like, just be honest with me. Like, just tell me straight up, you know? And then I also don't like guys when their favorite color is green. Like, that's a big, they're all the same.
They're all the same.
And if you know, you know, and if you don't, I hope you never have to, because it's specific. I hate when rude people as well, and like when people are rude to people in the food or service industry, because I've worked at Dairy Queen. I've been a server. I still am a server. It's just annoying. I'm like, I don't make the prices. I'm doing my best. Usually you're understaffed. Like, bear with me here. And I had other ones, but I kind of forget.
Yeah.
Guess my memory isn't good.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it is what it is, you know. You get what you get.
And you don't get upset. Let me think of a question. I had one in my head. No, I didn't. What's one thing that you wish people knew about you?
One thing I wish people knew about me. That's a good question.
I just thought of it. That's why I said it.
I kind of wish people knew that I don't, because I'm usually a really busy person and I like often have a lot of things going at once. And so I wish people knew that I don't always know what I'm doing. Because people will often, whenever I talk to them, they're like, oh my gosh, you've like got everything under control. Like, good for you. You're doing so much. And I am genuinely like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just hoping to make it through the day, you know? And I'm just like, I'm like, yeah, like I'm trying, but I just wish people were like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, I hope people know that I don't actually know what I'm doing half the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trustworthy and like responsible, but
Yeah.
I don't actually know what's going on. So
I'm the same way, but I think people know that I don't know what's going on, so I don't really have that issue. One thing I want people to know about me. I think I'm an open book.
You are pretty open.
Honestly, like there's not like if you ask me about something, I'll tell you because I don't care enough not to tell you. If that makes sense. What do I'm almost average height. That's what I want people to know about me. People have been really clowning on me recently for my height, and I'm like 5'4" is like average height for women in Canada, and I'm like 5'3", 5'3.5" on a good day. So I'm average height. Okay, like that's rude. Oh my goodness, this is a good question. If you could be any height, what height would you be?
I want to say like 5'4" or 5'5". I'm 5'7.5" right now, and I feel like I'm too tall. Like I often am like, I want to be shorter. Like I never wear heels. I hate wearing heels. Although like if I was taller, then I could model. Because right now I'm not technically tall enough to model.
That's so crazy.
Because you're supposed to be like 5'8". So yeah, I guess I'd be short. I'd want to be short. I want to know what it's like to not be able to reach the top shelf, you know?
It's really quite upsetting. I'd want to be like 6'5", 6'8". Like I'd want to be like extremely tall. I think that's such a flex. Like when I see tall people and they need to like duck down when they're going under like a door, I'm like, that's cool. Like I wish that could be me. Like or like when people like hang on the door, like the frame. Have you seen that?
Oh, like holding, like...
Yeah, they're like so tall they can like reach the top of it. Yeah.
I could reach the top of it.
That's really cool. I can't at all. So I'm a big fan of heels. I actually got my grad heels.
Exciting.
Yeah, and they make me 5. They make me your height actually.
5'7"?
Yeah, 5'7" or 5'8". Yeah, they're very, very high heels.
Damn.
Super freaking cute. I got the heels before the dress.
Love.
But yeah, do you have any other questions? What do you want to know about me? Is there something that you like are like this is so basic I should know as a friend, but I don't?
What's your ideal meal?
Oof. That's a good question.
Like your last meal, I guess you can
My
ask that
last
question.
meal.
Like if they're not the same.
I'm a big salad girly. Love a good salad. Also love a good burger. Ooh, you know what I do? Actually, like a nice fettuccine Alfredo.
Fettuccine Alfredo is really good.
With like just like a good bev. I don't know what bev, but a good one. Actually, I recently had this drink and it was blue raspberry lemonade. It was from Jones.
Oh gosh, yum.
So good. It's at Sobeys. 10 out of 10 recommend. So maybe that. That sounds good. How about you?
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
My ideal meal, I love burger and fries. I get it like any restaurant I go to normally. I also like salads or like bowls. Bowls are super fun. I'm a big bowl
They
girl.
are really fun. I'm a
bowl person.
Too, yeah.
But probably like burger and fries, like literally McDonald's. I love McDonald's. Sponsor me, McDonald's. Big fan, big fan.
Is good. I've had it so many times though that like it needs to be like for me to actually crave it is very rare. Like, do you remember that one summer where we were out 24/7 and that's what we lived off of?
Yeah. That was like
18, I think. Yeah. Because we were like pretty young, but adults. So we didn't need to be like, can we go this? Can we go here? Can we go here? Yeah. That was a fun time.
Good summer experiences.
I'm trying to think. What's a good question? You read a lot of books. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book is The Outsiders. If you haven't read it, you should.
Have
you read it?
love The Outsiders. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
it's
like one
good.
of the only books I've ever read.
What's your favorite book?
Um,
Not The Outsiders.
I would
really good. Read it.
I would say The Outsiders. Probably The Outsiders. I don't read a lot. I don't have the like attention span to. If I'm being honest, like I just can't. I need to be doing like 12 million things at the same time. So like if I'm like studying or something, I have like my computer and I'll be typing and studying, and then I have a video here, and then I have like Amazon. So I'll study, and then if I'm like sick of studying, I watch something, and then if I'm sick of watching something, I'll go on Amazon. And it's like a little cycle, but yeah, reading doesn't really work for me. But yeah, The Outsiders is really good. Same with The Fault in Our Stars. That's a really good book.
Do John Green is a really good author.
Yeah.
An Abundance of Catherines is also a really good book by him.
I remember you talking about that a while
Big
ago.
fan of that one. Big fan of that one. Yeah, I love reading in books. I haven't read a book in a hot minute, though. It's been so long. I've been so
That's
busy.
wild. Yeah, you have been hella busy.
Yeah.
I mean, really busy. Oop. Let's think of one more question. We can answer one more question.
The ultimate question.
The ultimate question. I'm trying to think of ones that I've seen on that site. There was so many questions. It was like I was like scrolling. There was like 500. It was great.
So
And they had like different categories. Like one's for your work, one's for yada yada, one's for blah blah yada yada. Do you have a question? I'm like trying to think.
If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you be?
Ooh, that's a good question. I've always wanted to move to Australia.
Good on my.
Yeah, but Australia has really big bugs, and I have like any type of bug I'm very scared of. Even though for $10,000 I would get bitten by one. So probably New Zealand, because apparently they don't have as much bugs. So New Zealand, or honestly Lebanon was fun when I went. It was a cute little village. Stay there, milk my own cows, wake up, grab fresh chicken eggs. That could not be me, but yeah, I think that'd be fun. So either or.
I've always wanted to go to Iceland and travel across Europe. So if I could, like if it worked in the schedule, I would gladly be there right now. And financially, if it worked in the moment, that would also be fantastic. Yeah, just anywhere else. Not anywhere else. I'm actually kind of chilling right now. Like I'm in a good place, like mentally at the moment. But yeah, it'd be cool to be another place in the world. Yeah.
Edmonton's like very good. Don't hold my hand. Edmonton's very good.
I want it on the right near the mic.
I'm trying to hold my hand. She's obsessed with me. Edmonton's a very good place to like settle. Like it has everything. You're not like completely shut out from the dark. You know what's happening in the world. But it's still like kind of safe. But
it also too like is way. I went to school in Vancouver for a while, and Vancouver was so expensive. Beautiful and amazing, but super expensive. And a lot of people talked about leaving Vancouver to come to Edmonton just because it is more financially accessible, and you still like it's still a good place to live. And here you actually see the sun. In Vancouver, you don't see the sun for like months on end in the wintertime. It rains so much. But here, it's always a blue sky. Usually, at least.
I'm a big fan of rain, so that sounds great to me.
Not
but
months and months of rain.
Yeah, I understand why people wouldn't like that. And then one question that is Bridget's favorite question. What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Well, I actually forgot about that.
Me too. I'm surprised we didn't think of it.
My acting teacher when I was at film school, she said to jump before you're ready, because she said in acting, in your life, in anything you will do, you'll never go anywhere unless you like force yourself to. So jump before you're ready, because you're never going to be ready, and then you're never going to do anything. So just go for it. Life's short. Jump.
Mine is don't go to bed angry. And I think that's a good one. And I think I heard it when I was like 6. Like I was like a child, and then I heard that and I'm like, that's really deep. Obviously. Yeah. Emo Rochelle. No, but I think it's very good to remember that. Like I'm very much, you never know what's gonna happen next. And you know, you could be on the phone with someone arguing, and they could like something could happen to them, and you can never speak to them again. And the last thing that you're stuck with is you're screaming at them. So yeah, don't go to bed angry. Always tell people you love them. I mean, obviously if you love them, not like a random stranger, like that's kind of weird, but
You could
if you wanted to, not my cup of tea, but Yeah, always tell people you love them. After a fight, that's my biggest thing. Like, if I have a fight with someone I love, you need to let them know, like, love you, you know? Even if you're angry in the moment, at least they know that that's still there. So, yeah, don't go to bed angry and say I love you.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Good ones.
What can I say? Yeah. There was 2. You're welcome. A little bonus.
Little bonus.
All right. Well, that
Concludes our question and answer.
Yes. We hope you enjoyed it. It was a bit hectic, I would say. But what isn't? And for an hour-long stream, I think we did very well. Whoever's watching, we hope you enjoy. You're going to see a lot more of our beautiful faces. Yeah, we'll see you in the next video.
Woohoo!
This is going to be so awkward getting out of this bed to try and turn this off. See you later, guys.